Hey y'all, this is Legally Everywhere. Where we looking into everything. We legally looking into everything, and this is exactly why I always say we need to be abreast of what is going on in international news. Because what? Look at these upcoming clips.
Uh, I think it would be very unwise.
United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Monday said Europe should not retaliate against any measures the U.S. takes in their dispute over Greenland, as President Donald Trump's intensified push to take control of the island threatens to reignite a trade war with Europe. Speaking on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland, Bessent urged Europe not to doubt Trump's intentions.
And I think everyone should take the president at his word.
Trump is expected to meet global business leaders in Davos on Wednesday. His threat to implement a wave of increasing tariffs on 8 European nations until the U.S. is allowed to buy Greenland has rattled European industry and sent shockwaves through financial markets. Investors fear a return to the volatility of 2025's trade war, which only eased when the sides reached tariff deals in the middle of the year. Norwegian and German leaders say they will try to meet with Trump this week in Davos to discuss the dispute. EU leaders will also discuss how to respond at an emergency summit in Brussels on Thursday. One option is a package of tariffs on $108 billion of U.S. imports that could automatically kick in on February 6th after a 6-month suspension. Another option is the anti-coercion instrument, which has never yet been used and which could limit access to public tenders, investments or banking activity, or restrict trade in services, including digital ones. The EU said it was continuing to engage at all levels with the US, but said the use of its ACI was not off the table.
Okay, so that was directly from Reuters, right? Okay, so that's generally where our news stations go to verify their news. That's where they get it from. Okay, so guess what? I was watching international news because, yep, that's what I do, watch stuff in other countries, and look what they had to say directly from them.
It's not very statesmanly-like, but we know that is not Trump's style. So
okay,
everything he says must be in context.
Guys, thank you very much, but I have to move on. Nora Lee, Matthew, superb stuff. Now, with respect to the Chagos deal, a Foreign Office spokesperson has told GB News this. Despite all these increasingly desperate attempts to undermine the UK's agreements with Mauritius, the truth remains that this deal is essential to secure the operations of the joint US-UK base on Diego Garcia for future generations, which is why it has been supported by all our Five Eyes partners and why it continues to be the right outcome for Britain's national security. Now, and on the Chinese embassy, the government said this: national security is our first duty and government security experts have been involved throughout the process so far. Now, up next is Jacob Rees-Mogg, State of the Nation. So, Jacob, what's on your menu?
Well, we're going to be obviously talking about Greenland. This is the worst crisis in Anglo-American relations since 1956, since Suez, since Eisenhower threatened to run on the pound to stop a UK independent foreign policy. It is really serious, and it's a reminder of what Palmerston said: we have no perpetual friends and no eternal enemies. It's our interests that are perpetual. America is sometimes on our side and sometimes isn't, but you can never rely on foreign countries. Britain always needs to make its own way in the world and must think about other alliances, and must start thinking about whether India will be an important alliance, and we must think about whether we must always follow America's lead in foreign policy.
OK, so Jacob Rees-Mogg, superbly put as ever. Up next to Jacob Rees-Mogg. See you tomorrow, 3 till 6.
Well, for every action, there is what? There is a reaction, and then another reaction, and then another reaction. Next thing you know, we're dealing with escalation. And what exactly are we looking at? We're looking at escalation.